So kindly tag all those friends, those leaders that you know they need um, to hear this wisdom, these nuggets. And let me know how the video is. Let me know how the sound is. Yes, drop a comment there. Tell us how everything is. We'll appreciate. We'll appreciate. We'll appreciate. Tell us how the video is, how the sound is, so that we can be able to start. I hope you have your pens ready, you have your notebook ready, because there are things that you don't just hear. You need to note them down for a point of reference. So kindly tell us how the sound is, tell us how the video is, so that we can be able to begin this show. Yes. Thank you, Maureen Favored, for coming in. Thank you, Anne. God bless you. Thank you, Jane. God bless you. Thank you, Shalita. Thank you, Mwangi. Thank you so much. My director, you can check from your site with everything is okay. Then we can. Sound is a bit low. Thank you, Caro, for coming in. Our director is working on it. The sound is a bit low. Yes, we are working on it. We are working on it. We are working on it. Great. Thank you. Thank you. Just a minute. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Tell us how now is. My director is working on it, so tell us whether now it's okay. Director, are we back on video? Okay. Anne, how is the sound now? Tell us how the sound is now. Somebody else. How is the sound? How is the video? Someone should confirm whether the sound is okay now. Amazing. Thank you so much. Great. I'm waiting to see a comment that now the sound is okay, so that we can be able to get into a topic. Great. Thank you. Thank you for coming in. Yeah. Keep sharing, keep tagging. Yes. Thank you. Hope the sound is okay now. The sound is okay? Thank you so much. I want to welcome you, our viewers, our family, our friends, for this day that God have given us as we talk about leadership and how we can be able to build. We said this is our show where we build one another, and we are looking how well we can be able to shape this show to make sure that it's effective, it is impactful, it influencing people. And what we have agreed, we have restructured, and every first Thursday of the month, underline that, every first Thursday of the month, we'll be talking matters concerning leadership. And today we want to start from there. What are the true definition of a leader? What are the things that we look and we can be able to say, for real, this person is a leader? This lady, this man is a leader. What are the things that we can be able to see and we can feel that this person knows where he's taking his people? Because leadership is a very important ingredient, is a very important pillar for achievement of results. And I know, because I have authored leadership books, and there is one statement that I like so much, that leadership is a commodity, rather it is an inadequate commodity, that we don't have surplus of leadership. In other words, we have inadequate of leadership. And when we talk about leadership, it's quality leadership, it's influential leadership. So every person that hold a leadership position, whatever we are going to discuss tonight should be able to sink so much in your mind, whether you're leading your business, whether you're leading a family, whether you're leading a church, whether you're leading an organization, whether you're leading a business entity, whether you're leading a learning institution. The things we are going to discuss tonight should be able to propel you to another level. And our topic today will talk about a leader who is defined by results, because majority of the time we look like a leader, the things that the parameters we look with our naked eye, and we think those are the things that define a leader. And one is when we talk about a leader having a position. Like, for instance, I'm the chairman, I'm the treasurer, I'm the CEO, I'm the manager. Those positions, we think they define the leadership that you carry. Sometimes we talk of the offices setup that we are in. Everyone aspires to get into a good working condition, and most of the time you'll get leaders having good offices. I think those offices define them. Another thing that probably gets into our head and think it defines us is the multitude that follow us. And we think because we have either bigger or a small multitude, we are great or successful leader. Another element that we look at too and we think can define us is how much either in terms of earning or the benefits or the privilege that accorded this, the position that you're holding, and you think because I'm above in terms of privilege, then I'm successful leader. But I think, yes, they are good, but they are not the best definition of a leader. Because when we talk about leadership, we look at different angles and it. And tonight we want to have leaders that are addicted to results. Because the reason and the sole reason why we have a leader, whether you're you're leading a small group, whichever level of leadership that opposition you're holding, the key reason that you're supposed to be there is to provide results. Whether you're in business and you're the leader in that organization, the key thing should be that the company should grow, they should have profit, they should be able to have, be able to get into different marketing niche, they should be able to reach to different levels every time, because that's what makes or rather defines you as a leader. And we'll be able to look at 5 or 6 definitions of a leader from the Welsh Show, and I want you to try to see whether they can be able to resonate with you and whether they qualify to define you as a leader. And I've said one definition of a great leader is, or rather a leader that is defined by results. Number 1 is your ability as a leader to know the way, walk the way, and you can be able to influence, motivate your followers to walk that way. Let me repeat that the first definition of a great leader is that place where you know the way. You know where you're taking people. In other words, when you talk about knowing the way, you know the vision, you know where you are taking people. This is where I'm leading people. There is clarity of the vision. That's when we say that you know the way. Actually, you have tried to sit down with yourself and convince yourself that this business can grow, that this business can move from this level to this level. So when we talk of a leader who is defined by result, number 1 is your ability and capacity to be able to know the way, you have walked the way, and you can go back and take your followers and incite them, influence their mind to believe that they can walk that way. And we have said that you can never give what you don't have. If you don't believe, that organization you're leading is the best, then your followers will never believe in it. So your ability to know the way and walk the way and lead your people, that is the first definition of a leader. So tonight, ask yourself, that business that you're holding, whether you're leading 2 or 3 people, that church, whether you're a pastor, whether you're the chairman, whether you're the treasurer, do you believe in it fully? Even in that family that you're leading, do you believe fully in it so that you can be able to tell others, do you know what, guys? We know this is where I'm leading you guys. And I always say this, your conviction of where you are taking people will always give you the power to communicate. Let me repeat that again. Your conviction of where you are taking people will always give you power to communicate. Do you know, communicate in a way that you are pursuing your people, you're convincing your people, regardless of the situation they are going through. Because we always say this, leaders are not, do you know, they're not, the leaders, they don't lead based on the season. They lead in and out of season. Whether that company is going through a good season, whether that is going through a good season, whether family is going through a good season, a leader will always remain to be constant. So your ability to convince your people to walk through that way, your ability to convince your followers that this is the way, even if it doesn't look like, because I've always said this, the greatest principle of a leader is the principle of repeat. A leader, you have to keep repeating it, and repeat it like you never said it yesterday. You have to keep repeating that this is our vision, this is where we are going. You come today in the meeting, you will start by telling guys, do you know what? This is where we are going. A leader should not communicate once and you feel like, I'm tired. You should not go into business and tell guys, this is how I want things being done. You can repeat in the morning, repeat it in the afternoon, repeat it in the evening, come tomorrow, repeat it until they brand you as Mr. Repetition or so, because that is the strongest power of a leader. A leader should not get irritated. How many times have I reminded you? How many times have I told you, I don't want these things to be there? That is not a leader. A leader should always repeat him or herself until people are convinced. Now, this guy or this person, this is where he's taking us. And now we are convinced we can follow him. I hope that is very clear. That your definition as a leader, whichever position you hold, it is your ability to know the way, walk the way, and you can come back, pick your followers, and show them. That is our clear vision, and that's where we go. And you'll keep communicating it in and out of season, when you're feeling okay, when you're not feeling okay, when people are delivering, when they're not delivering, you'll always show them this is the way we are walking. Now, the reason why we say that you must know the way and you have walked the way, because everything lies and falls under leadership. The leader is like the lead. If you take a bottle of water, you cannot put water above the lead, because that is like the measure. So when we talk about knowing the way and walking the way, the leader is able to know that this is where I'm taking people, and I have created a room for them to inspire them to grow to where you are. Because you cannot lead people in the same level that they are. That's why you are a leader. You must have taken a few steps. You know where there are pitfalls, you know where there are bumps, so that you can be able to prepare them psychologically. Next month we might have a delay in financial, or rather in salary, or maybe next month we're going to have adjustment on how we do. Even at home, you're able to communicate in advance. Their leaders, their work is to keep creating crisis, and their work is to manage crisis. If that is who you are as a leader, you need to redefine yourself. I think I'm clear there. Definition number 2 about a leader who is, know where he's taking his people, is your ability to create a standard measure and principle for the people that you are leading. I have talked about in one of my books, The Leadership Edge, the 4 dimensions of a leader. Any leader should always stand on a higher ground. That when your followers, they look up to you, they're inspired to come where you are. In any organization, the leader becomes the standard measure. It's like everybody, they benchmark with you. Now, the question we need to ask ourselves as leader, me included, how far have you grown yourself that the followers or the people that you lead, they can be inspired and be challenged to grow to your level where you are? That I always say this, that leaders should always know that if your followers are in this level, you are 5-6 steps ahead of them in terms of thinking, in terms of doing things. If you cannot be part of the mess that your followers are creating and expect to solve it. That's why you get majority of leaders, they have lost what we call the moral authority. Because followers, members, when you know Kichelewa Church, you're one of them as a leader coming late. If it is a business, you're not hitting your deadlines. Do you get? And you want to get to the meeting and still, tell people this is not where you are. So as a leader, you must create a standard that when you're telling people we are supposed to be in office at 7, you're already in job at 6:45. You'll be able to challenge them. You'll have the moral authority. When you're telling people we need to meet our deadline on 28, by 27, everything is on the table. You have provided it. If you're leading a group and you have group meetings, whether they are chamas, and you're saying that we need to contribute 200 shillings, unapata, you as a leader, you have arrears for 6 or so months, and you want to tell people that it's good to honor their contribution. It is not possible because you never have that moral authority. That's why I tell, as a leader, you become the standard measure. And this is the greatest sacrifice a leader needs to maintain. That you are far above your followers so that they can get inspired. And when you talk, they can listen to you. Remember, I've said this, that majority of the time when leaders are communicating, your followers don't hear your words. They first look at your action, then they can follow your words. Let me repeat that again. That when you're leading people and you're talking to them, they will never listen your words, or they will never put a lot of emphasis to your words than your actions. So they will first look at whatever you are saying, what are you doing? Is it contrary with what you're telling them? And that's why you find majority of the leaders, when they're leading, they get it so hard because they are either below their followers, and because of the title, I'm the chair, I'm the secretary, by that time or the tenure you're going to lead people, it becomes so hard for you. And that is a moment when you find a lot of regrouping happen in the groups. That's the time you find a lot of breakups in companies, in churches, because the leader was not a standard and everybody looks up to him as the measure. So tonight, in every, the position that you hold, ask yourself the people that you are leading, whether they are 5 or they are 6, are they inspired to grow to the measures that you are in? Are they looking up to you and they're saying, I would want to be like this guy. He has principle when it comes to, delivering results. He's very clear in whatever he communicates, whatever he says and whatever he does. You can marry the two. You can feel they're leading somewhere. That is the greatest thing of a leader. And that is the greatest definition of a leader. Because you realize majority of the time, when you are leading people, there are seasons where they cannot, associate themselves with the vision of the company or the vision with the church. Because a difficult season, it's a hard moment season, and it happens. There are times when you look even your personal vision and you feel, I think this is not me. So when it happens in a group, what makes that group to remain cohesive? It is the standard of the leader. It is where he becomes the beacon of hope. That's where we want to go. Even when things are difficult, the leader can speak and can give the members the hope. We are going to arise and we are going to overcome this challenge. We are going to overcome this season. So let's remain together. Let's work as a team. Now that moment is when a leader has the moral authority. I hope I'm clear up to that. Let me see how we are flowing before even we go to the other definition. And I hope my director can also be able to check from his side what is happening. Thank you, Mary Hiram, Reverend. Thank you for coming. I hope unafanya ile kazi unafanyanga. Jungatho, thank you so much. Brandon, hey, it has been long. We thank God for you guys. I don't know whether you can be able to see. Someone is saying it is still low on the sound. I hope the rest are okay. You can tell us how the sound is. Drop a comment. If the sound is still okay as we move on. Thank you. Mary Hiram, I hope you are there and you are taking those notes. Remember, we agreed what you should be doing. But thank you so much for seeing you there. Great. Joe, how is sound? Please tell us how sound is. Brandon, tell us how sound is. Yes, that will help us. If we are moving on well. Good. Thank you. So I was talking about a leader being like the standard measure, creating principles that inspire your followers to believe in the vision, to believe in the business, even when it is not probably making profit, and you're feeling like we need to believe in this organization because the leader himself, whatever he's telling us is doing, and whatever he's doing, we can also resonate with it. Then point number 3 of a leader, and a true definition of a leader, it is your ability to remain accessible, humble, and approachable. Let me repeat, as a leader, ask yourself, are you accessible? Are you humble? And are you approachable? Because majority of the time in organization, whether in church, any institution, even at home, you'll find like leaders, the topmost leaders, they're the last person to get the information. Because majority of the time, they lack that interpersonal skill that can help them to still mingle with their followers as they retain their standard, so that they can get what we call first-hand information. That's why you find the majority of the time when the leaders are getting information, it has taken so long, it has costed a lot of harm, it has created a lot of mess. It is 1 month down the line, it is 2 months down the line, and they cannot be able to comprehend how did it start, how did it happen, because you are not accessible. The moment, when we talk about power getting into our head, it's like I'm the chairman. You create a boundary through that name instead of using that name to create a platform when your followers will feel more comfortable to communicate to you. And a great leader is defined by your ability to create accessibility, that your members will feel comfortable to share even their uncomfortable information with you, because they know who you are, they know your true character, they know how you're going to handle it. And a great leader will always act positive criticism, because that is what builds you. Being a leader, you're not 100%. You have your strength, you have your weakness. And probably your weakness is your follower's strength. So you need to know, how can I tap with it? You can only tap to their strength when you're accessible, because accessibility will help you get information, will help you learn the people that you're leading, so that you can be able to tap whatever they are carrying. A great leader must be accessible. Remember, a leader is not a boss. A leader is not a manager. A leader is more of a steward, is a people's person, or rather it is you go down to where they are. That place of humility, being humble, finding, yes, I'm the chair, I'm the secretary, I'm the pastor, I'm the reverend, I'm the bishop. Yes, I know that is the title. But at the end of the day, all of us, we are part of this organization. We are part of this family. So we are working towards. It's only that I have more, more duty, or by the grace of God, that I'm doing things on your behalf, and you're supporting me so that I can be able to do it better. That place when they know that, at the end of the day, they are not worse because they're not leader. You're not the best because you're the leader. It is that chance that you have been given, and you need to tap to their strength so that you can become great, you can become better. So a leader should always be humble. Go to where they are. Sometimes give them a hand That's why I always say that a great leader should go down. That is the depth. You need to go where they are, give them a hand and pull them to where you are. That will show things. You're accessible, you understand when they go down, and you can be humble to go where they are and create a relationship with them so that you can be able to pull them to where you are. I have seen so many organizations breaking and leaders didn't see it happening because you are not accessible. Sometimes if your members, they're having tea, a separate office from your office. Sometimes take your cup of tea, go where they are, share a cup of tea with them, hear what they are talking. If you're a pastor or a reverend on a Sunday, after the service, don't just go to your office. Shake hand with those people. Ask them, what do you think? That place, they're like, wow, I can be able to greet my pastor. I can be able to greet my bishop hand. They're like, wow, I can be able to, have a conversation with my chairman. I can be able to have a conversation with my CEO. What will happen is they will start feeling, what these people are still human beings like us. And this is the best thing that will help you get information. Be able to do self-evaluation. How do people, view me? What is their perception they have about my leadership? Where do they think I can be able to change? You can only do that when you go where they are. Sometimes there are followers that they need to see you where they are so that they feel motivated to come where you are. Sometimes as a leader, you need to remove that coat, that suit, and be in a t-shirt, go where they are, have a team building, go have lunch. I remember one friend of mine was sharing with me, the things some of the leaders they go through that even becomes so hard for a leader in an institution to visit a washroom because they think, no, they're superhuman. You see, because they don't believe their things. They don't believe you can have a round table and have lunch with them. How accessible are you as a leader? How approachable are you? Can you be able to tolerate even what you don't feel like listening to, but you can be able to accommodate? How much can you accommodate diversity? Because that is approachability part of it. Because when you're approachable, it means you can accommodate diversity. You can be able to accommodate different minds, different perception, even those who criticize your leadership. Can you be able to listen to them because they have something? Probably they are the people who makes you think twice before you do something. They're the people who make sure that you can do all the calculation either before you speak or before you do an action, because there are people who are watching you and they want to see a negative out of it. So they help you to reduce the risk of you failing. So even when you are criticized, don't see like those guys, they have no role in your leadership. They have a very special role for you because they're the people helping you to reduce the cost of your risk. I hope I'm clear there, and I hope he's communicating to someone. And ask yourself tonight, are you accessible? Are you approachable? Are you humble to the people that you lead? Can you share with them? Can they feel they're part of you? Because that is very important. The other definition of a leader, it is your ability to remain, or rather to maintain your eyes on the vision, on the goal. Your ability to maintain your eyes on the goal or the vision. Now, this is very interesting because majority of institution, majority of company, majority of the churches, what hinders the growth is not lack of the vision. It is not lack of quality members. It is not a lack of the way and where they want to go. Majority of the time is when the leader fails to maintain that cohesiveness and the group starts regrouping themselves. You get majority of the energy in that institution. What they work on is solving conflicts. Majority of the time is having a moment where you have to keep back and forth discussion. You don't break forth in the institution, and you find 10 years you're the leader, but then if you go to your minutes, the majority of your time, the major part of your time, probably in a year, you have spent time solving problems. Do you know, majority of the time dealing with conflict, unnecessary conflict, because there are positive conflict in an institution, but you find majority of the time when you lose your focus on the eye, what will happen is you're going to get a lot of small things that will take a lot of your energy, a lot of your time. And I always tell leaders, it's not everything that probably happen in institution that need to take the whole of your day. There are moments a leader needs to be assertive when you stand and say, I think this is done and this is the way we need to follow. There are moments where you don't have to call the organization every time they're having crisis meeting. Or we have not paid this, or you have not cleared this. They never have the moment to discuss their needs, the implementation, monitoring, and evaluations. Every time they're having any meeting, they're discussing who didn't attend what, who did not finish what, who did not do what. After that, at the end of the day, the leader comes with a lot of emotions because probably he feels frustrated or she feels frustrated. And by the time that meeting is done, it creates a need for another meeting to do evaluation on how far we have done in dealing with the crisis and conflicts. Now, how do we expect the institution to grow? Because remember we said that leader is the beacon of hope. So a leader need to remain very focused and firm. I have always said this, that a leader should always be firm on the ground and fix your eyes on the horizon. That means you're very firm on what you say, but you can still show people where we are going. And that is a true leader. That's a true definition of a leader. And that should happen in our institution, so that we need to balance and ask ourselves, if I was to take 1 week, which has 168 hours, and be able to account per every hour in that institution, how many minutes went to productive results? How many minutes went to productive process? How many minutes that went to future investment on the institution? Because that should be always be the work of a leader, so that you see, where do we have challenge? Is it in communication? Is it issue of teamwork? Is it place of understanding where we are going? Is it issues of morale and motivation? Because those are the things that also make people reduce a lot of conflict. Because when you are leading people and in and out you are fighting, one thing that you need to understand is either they are demoralized, either they don't know where they are going, either they don't feel part of the institution, and it is your work as a leader to make sure that you have eliminated those those vices that comes in the institution, and they make you not achieve what you're supposed to achieve. So tonight, you and I have a responsibility of asking ourselves, am I focused to the goal? And number one, by the way, we ask ourselves, do we have that goal? Is it clear to ourselves? Is it clear to the people that we lead? Because that's very important. Now, having gone through some of the definitions or some elements will show a true leader. The indication of this is a great leader. The four of them. Then what is a leader supposed to do with the followers, so that now we can be able to know there is a connection between the leader, a leader who knows how to remain focused, a leader who fixes their eyes on the goal, a leader who has standards, a leader who has sit down and be able to know the way, have created a clear vision. Then what are the connections that need to happen between the leader, who now we know this is a great leader, he knows now what happened, so that we have a bridge between the leader and the members. And there are 5 or 4 things that I want to mention. Now, once you have all these characteristics as a leader, now one of your biggest assignment is be able to influence the mind of your followers. Number 2, be able to motivate them. Number 3, be able to challenge them. And number 4, be able to impact them in whatever you are speaking, in whatever the work needs to be done that is possible to be done by them. Because when you influence the mind of human beings, what you are doing, you are suppressing the culture they have been holding on, and you're creating a new culture so that you can be able to fasten achievement of the results. If you're having a business and you have employed someone, the moment you bring this person and you're telling them, we need to open the shop at 6, we need to make sure that we have good customer care. When we are talking to our church members and you're telling them, we need to be concerned with each and every member in this church so that they feel part and parcel of us. What we are doing, we are dealing with whatever they knew before, joining our institution, and now influence. You're telling them this is what we're supposed to do. We are creating a culture, we are creating a system in them. Because majority of the time is when leaders, they lead people out of their personality. I hope I'm clear there. That you're leading people out of, if it's Samuel, people, they follow me as Samuel, but they don't follow a certain culture or a certain system that when Samuel is out of the picture, the same people will still move on. Majority of the institution we are running, when we don't see the leader, everything else goes down. Because we have built, individualistic kind of leadership instead of having, institutionalizing leadership, that it is owned by everybody. My work is just to facilitate, but I'm not the alpha and omega. I hope that is clear. So what you need to do is be able to influence the minds of your followers. They start seeing leadership far and beyond you, so that you have seen majority of, even in countries, when there a shift of individuals because they lack a system, the person who comes, they put their system, which is temporary, based on the constitution, how many years you're supposed to rule or how many years can you be able to vie. So you have find even people, they have worked in business and they have built business along their name or around their name. So when these people, either one way or reason, they cannot continue with that business, what happens is that business dies. Because they have built a business on an individual and not on the institution called leadership. So when you are leading your people, they need to see the vision bigger than you. Majority of the time is when we see the leader as the true definition of the institution. It's like he's like the institution walking around. But that is not the point. The vision is supposed to be bigger. Actually, his work is just pointing people to the vision. So when you're influencing them, you are challenging their mind to see the vision bigger. Why? Because even the followers who don't, most of the time, not 100% people believe in you. But the moment even they don't like you, even the season they feel like probably you're not delivering, they will still do their part. Because they are not only connected to you, but they are also connected to the vision, which is the bigger picture of the institution. I hope I'm clear. That you have people you're leading, as much as they believe in you, you're showing them a bigger picture than yourself. That will always help institution to have continuation. I know in these seats, sooner we're going to discuss about succession, and you'll understand a lot of mess we do as leaders. Because when you come in, for example, you're serving for 3 years term or you're serving 5 years term, instead of having a system that even the person will come after you, they will not adjust so much, or rather they're not going to destabilize the institution, because there are things that are connected and they're flowing. I hope someone is getting this. Point number 2, which is very important, as a leader, what you're supposed to do is be able to help the members to have the ownership mentality. Your work is to make sure that these people, they have owned up. It is not so-and-so's institution. It's not so-and-so's company. It is not my father's shop. It is our shop. Ownership. The place of them feeling this is ours. My contribution as a cleaner in this institution is important as the managing director. My small part contributes to the bigger part of the institution. Ownership of followers is very important, because there are followers who are just there. You go to a group and they're like, hii group inakuaga na wenyewe, hii church inakuaga na wenyewe, hiyo kampuni si kazi yetu ni kukuja tusukume kwenye tunasukuma. Those are the mentality that are telling you if they get a better place to go, they will leave. But when you are a leader, you're supposed to make sure they have owned up that institution. They can do anything to see that institution better. That is the work of a leader. That's why you are there. You're supposed to make sure that everybody believes in that institution. They're not staying there looking for a better place. Have you seen employees who, which is very okay, that they keep updating their CV, but they're not updating because they're challenging themselves to grow. It's because they're not comfortable here. Do you know there are employees who, by the grace of God, they get an opportunity, they'll start clapping. And the other employees, even if they're looking for greener pastures, by the moment they are leaving that institution, their attachment, their commitment, you can feel it. I have seen people crying, do you know, moving from one group to another because they had created a bond. And that is the work of a leader. Showing people the importance of ownership, showing people the reason of that high level of commitment. And that's why you are there as a leader. Whether you are leading a small group of 10 people, help them to have ownership. Help them to have that commitment that even if they were to look for a greener pasture, when they are leaving this institution, they are not going to leave it because they were tolerating the situation, waiting for a better place. They were celebrating here, and out of this celebration of their commitment, they have been promoted to a better position, to a better group. Ownership. Influence their minds. Motivate them. Then help them to own up the institution, whichever institution. You have seen kids in family who because the father was like, is there everything, and the father never helped the kids to own up the family and build up a family. A parent has held for so long one business. When the father or the mother, probably for one reason they cannot continue that business. When the kids come, they cannot even manage it because they have no clue what was happening. They don't know even where, the father used to source material. They don't know where the clients are. You are just left there. The place as they grow up, help them to own up. As they grow up, influence their minds to believe in where you're leading them. That is very important as a leader, because if you don't do that, there will be a lot of disconnect. And what will happen? You'll work so hard. I think you have seen institutions, and also institutions where we have high number of human resource than machine, probably like a church. You have seen, when you look at either the pastor, the reverend, or the bishop, and you look at the members, you feel like there is a disconnect. They are not connecting. Either the members, they feel out of place, either the pastor feel out of the place because there is lack of ownership, and ownership give a common ground of commitment and serving with passion as a leader. So tonight, also go back there and ask yourself, how are my followers, how are members that I'm leading in terms of ownership? Point number 3, as a leader, what you need to do, once you have influenced their mind, you have been able to help them to have ownership, then number 3, you must always tell members that the reason why we are here is because of results. I've seen good teams, but what will count in a good team is results. What will count for a good leader is results. However good you are in terms of talking, how good you are in terms of motivating, how good you are in terms of influencing, they must be underlined. What are the results? What have we achieved? By what time do we want to achieve? So as a leader, you need to communicate to the members. Yes, it's okay. We have come together. We have our own differences. We have owned up the company. That is not enough. Actually, that's the foundation. What need now to move to the next step? It is the results. It is the results. You have seen people and teams, a lot of investment has been done to them in terms of material, the morale. But when you look at the results, it's not there. Leaders need to understand, leadership is not about making people feel good. Their season and their moment of making them feel good, but their season, and this is what counts. Actually, even them to feel good, they must feel good when they have, produced results, because what counts is the results. When you get to business, the language that will make sense, it is profit. When you go to church, the language that happen, result is transformation. It is change of people's life. It is people moving from one level to another. It is people. If you cannot be, for example, you are having a business and every time your profits are in the same line, January to December, we're in the same line. We are making a profit of 100 G's. We are making a profit of 50,000. We need to have a crisis meeting and ask ourselves, how can we break forth from this ceiling and go to 70, 80? You see, that is the work of a leader. When you are a leader and you're leading a group of 10, ask them, how can we do to be 12? How can we do to be 13? What can we do next month to be? Because what counts in leadership is about results. Whether guys are going to celebrate you because of how you dress smart, how you talk well, how eloquent you are, it's okay. It is a tool. But when that tool is not well used, because the purpose of that tool that you're having, whether dressing well, whether having eloquency, in terms of communication, you're good. In terms of public speaking, you're okay. In terms of your image is okay. Those are tools that you're supposed to use to have results. If you have all these tools and there is no result, then you are termed as a failed leader. So tonight, as we come to the end of our show, it is good for us to ask ourselves tonight, I know I have good definition as a leader, but have I been able to transform my followers? Have I been able to transform my members to be committed to producing results? Because I have said, what matters in leadership is about results. Why we come together as a team is because there is an objective we need to achieve. Once we achieve that, that is the results. Why we're in this business is because we want to make profit. Why we're in this church is because we want to serve people. We want people to grow in all dimensions of life. That should be the key principle. That should be the whole thing about us leading and having followers, the place of having results. And hope from this leadership corner that we'll sit down and evaluate ourselves from the small positions that we are leading. Because from one level to another, you must have outgrown yourself in this level to go to the next level. So whichever position you're holding as a leader, may you take these nuggets, this wisdom, this information, this power positively to help you to ask yourself, where am I, struggling? Where am I having my areas of weakness? What can I do so that I can become a great leader? I'm believing out of this city, we're going to build transformational and transformative leaders who are going to take whichever group they're going to get, however small is it, but will be able to feel there is an impact, because you can never give what you don't have. And that's my prayer. That's my passion. I'm so passionate building leaders. I'm passionate bringing another crop of leader who will not be, they're not going to let power get into their head, who are not going to let positions get into their head, but they will ask themselves, am I delivering, accordingly to my position? Am I delivering, rather, based on the assignment that I'm given? As much as people are liking me, what can I show? What can I show? If I were to stand and be able to say, can you show us what you have done? Are you going to convince people and they're going to say, wow, this person knew and she's committed of what he or she's doing? That's my prayer. That's my desire. That all of us in areas that we are holding will be able to do better, will be able to do great. I'm trying to see your comments as we come to the end of your show, and kindly drop your question if you have any, so that you can be able to address it in our next show. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe Ngado. I can feel leadership passion in your voice. Thank you. It's by God's grace. Maureen, thank you so much. Rebranding of the Welsh Show was a noble idea, all dimension of life. Thank you so much. God bless you. Continue praying for us as the Welsh Show. Thank you, Pauline, for coming in. Thank you. God bless you. Creating a vision that is bigger than yourself. Yes, that's the whole thing. Yes, I can see influence, motivate. That's a key. Milka Gevenya, thank you so much. Naona ameleta watu hapa hivi, tunashukuru. Let this wisdom, share, continue sharing. Remember that you can always share from our Facebook and from our YouTube. Let's make sure that we are able to reach as many people as we can. Yes, and you must be changed. By the way, and things have to be done. lightly, and they have to be done rightly and in the right manner. That's very important. Thank you, Reverend Mary. Thank you. Wow, the choice of today's topic was divine. I feel transformed. Thank you. Thank you. It's by God's grace and your prayers that you are able to come up with this topic. And it's amazing. So, what we have arranged for you every Thursday, all the 4 Thursdays that we have in a month, the first Thursday of the month, we'll be dealing with leadership. And we have what we call the Leadership Corner. We're going to discuss everything about leadership. And we'll make sure by the time you're celebrating first or second anniversary, we are going to have leaders who are going to come and give testimonial that indeed this show has impacted me positively. Second Thursday, which will happen next week, we are going to, every second Thursday of the month, we'll be dealing with the family, and we are talking about family matters. How can we build our families better? How can we have good relationships in our family? So every second Thursday we'll have family matters, and that's what we'll be looking on. So make sure that you're following us. The third Thursday we'll be talking about business and money. I know, guys, hatuwezi kuendelea tu kuwa mahustlers hivi. We must think far and wide. How can we be able to use our talent, our passion for a coin? Because God have given this wisdom on how we can be able to transform ourselves and live a better life, because that's why God created us, to have dominion and authority. Man, you cannot have dominion when you have nothing. Even you have all this wisdom about leadership and probably kakitu hakuna kwa mfuko, kutakuwa na shida. So the third Thursday we'll be dealing with money and business. How can we start business from entrepreneurship is the whole thing. How can we have creativity, creativity and innovativeness? And on the fourth Thursday, we'll always be having our talk show, and we're calling it an open talk. We'll have different topics, probably have a guest and discuss, and that's how we are looking forward to build this show together, because I believe in you. You guys are amazing how we are growing this show. So I want to wish you the best as we meet next week, same place, same time. Continue sharing, continue tagging, continue giving us comments, where you think we can change, how we can make it better. That's our prayer, because we value your feedback and we need it, so that we don't remain the same place. We also want to grow. As you grow, help us to grow. And the greatest news is coming soon. We are doing something amazing in the month of August, September. So make sure you're following us, and make sure that you're praying for us, that you'll be awesome and you'll be part of it. So from us to you guys, we love you. Shalom, shalom. See you next week, same place.